Ant-Man and the Wasp.
Yeah.
Avengers Infinity War.
Okay.
Luke Cage, Season 2.
I'm listening.
Jessica Jones, Season 2.
Yeah, that was... okay, I'll give you that.
I'm pretty sure we talked about Defenders.
The Defenders?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, but those 4 things. So,
Is Defenders coming out with Season 2 as well here soon?
Oh, I don't think soon. I don't think anytime soon.
Luke Cage and Jessica Jones are the only Season 2s yet, right?
Daredevil.
Daredevil has a Season 2
And that was really good.
I hadn't watched that. I hadn't watched that one yet.
Did you see Punisher?
No. The Netflix original?
Yeah.
Is that tie into the same universe?
Yes.
Okay.
Watch Daredevil Season 2 first, though.
Okay. The thing about... Alright, before we get into the main topic, a little side quest.
Well, we could start on the Netflix shows if you want.
Yeah, let's start on the Netflix show. But Punisher has just had reiteration after iteration of terrible movies. So when I saw there's
because
a Netflix,
it's PG-13.
When I saw the Netflix Punisher, I was just like, no, because I was just afraid. I was scared. Okay.
There's no reason to be afraid.
Is it okay?
They nailed him.
Okay, so
like he's like, yeah, it's about it's
no weird Russian guys like overtly stereotypical.
No.
Okay.
No, you may even question. He's very much an anti-hero.
Okay.
Too.
Yeah. Well, he's supposed to be.
Yes.
You're not supposed to like him.
Right.
You're supposed to
be annoyed by his choices.
Yeah. If Punisher is your favorite, hero, then you may have problems.
You might.
You just might have some problems.
You might have problems.
Yeah, unless if he's your favorite sidekick on the '90s Spider-Man animated show.
Oh gosh,
that was
I'm gonna kill you. Why? Just because I don't like you. You wear a mask. Ooh. Okay, J. Jonah Jameson.
Have fun with your bike that's got the spikes on it, and then you can kind of...
We need Jameson in a movie, by the way.
Yeah.
Next Spider-Man movie better have Jameson.
So Jessica Jones, what did you think?
So Jessica Jones, the first season kind of, let me say, loved David Tennant.
Yeah.
Yes.
He's a great actor.
He's a fantastic actor.
This is the first time I've seen him as a bad... And I mean, this is the worst bad guy.
I don't watch Doctor Who.
Yeah.
I just know that he was Doctor Who at some point.
A lot of people don't like any doctors but David Tennant. Like, that is the Doctor Who to them. Like, modern.
Yeah,
Doctor
and I get it now. Yeah. I would not. I still would never watch Doctor Who.
He was such.
But still.
God, he was. It was such a great Kilgrave. Was that his name?
Kilgrave. Yeah.
Kilgrave, yeah. He was just such a. Like a fantastic villain, and the fact that he didn't even know, he got that he was a sociopath, but didn't really get he's a god, He's like, oh
yeah, and they really told the line with like some one episode they would reveal some information. I'm like, wow, I kind of feel sorry for him, and then he would do something that's like, wow, I don't feel sorry for him, but then they would do something else. So I liked when they did that. The problem with season 1, Jessica Jones, was you can tell it gets very obvious probably around episode 9-ish.
Yeah.
They've just run out of ideas.
Yeah, and then it was just like a cat and mouse kind of thing.
Right, and we just kind of hit the same beats that we already hit, and it's just kind of like, okay, can we just end the season already? And by the time it did end, it had overstayed its welcome. Luke Cage. Well, no, we're not going to talk about Luke Cage yet.
We haven't gotten to the second
season. Yeah. I just realized it's okay.
The first one was.
It's late for us.
I think that the best part about season 2 was the David Tennant shots. The fact that he's like in her brain. And
that was really good. Yeah. I enjoyed season 2 much more than season 1 because I like the whole thing with her mom, and I think I might have realized that was her mom a second before they revealed it, and that was, I don't know, like sometimes they just do that right. Yeah. They give you just enough breadcrumbs and clues.
When you figure it out, and like it's like, oh my god, if you figure it out too soon, it just feels like it's dumb. Like, just stop, we know, but if you figure out, like, I didn't figure it out in time, but I was watching it like before I was going to bed kind of thing, and like rewatching it because I'd fall asleep a little bit.
Right.
But I don't know. I think that like
And the fact that her mom's like her, but even stronger.
Yeah, I think that the origin season should have been 1. Like, I think that because Kilgrave was such a great villain.
Yeah,
that it seems like anticlimactic just to basically, like to throw in like some, okay, and this person's got super strength. It's like, okay, so you just basically got a mother clone of the daughter.
Yeah.
That's basically what they were doing. It was just, whose fisticuffs is stronger.
I do have to say, I really didn't... It felt very unnatural that all of a sudden we're bringing up the fact that her family, like she's interested in the accident and what happened after. It's like, we didn't hit on any of that for season 1 or in the Defenders.
Yeah,
like, none of that was brought up. It just felt very much like okay, well, season 2, we're going to write this so that she's interested now.
We want to develop her backstory and introduce her mom. And then, spoiler alert, we also want her, quote unquote, best friend to... There's some people that might not have watched it, but...
I mean, it's been out since, what, February?
Yeah, that doesn't stop me from slacking. I haven't seen season 2 of Daredevil.
That's true, and that's been out way longer.
Yeah.
That was pre-Defenders, I believe.
I still play Wii U games.
I still play Wii games.
Yeah, I still play
PS3.
Nintendo NES. Yeah. I still play checkers.
Monopoly.
Yeah, Taipei.
So, I liked season 2 a lot better, but yeah, it definitely had its issues, and I did love how it ended. But all in all, it was paced better. I liked how they brought back that crazy guy who was dating Trish at some point, and then she got his inhaler, which I've used an albuterol inhaler for asthma. It never gave me any superpowers.
Yeah,
but
you're not using it right.
Apparently not.
Yeah.
So season 2 was just, all in all, I thought it was better, with the exception of Kilgrave was a far better villain.
Luke Cage,
season 2. So,
I felt it was kind of corny. Like, it had a lot. It was more campy. It had a lot more like DC staple, or not DC.
Marvel staple.
Marvel, yeah, it's late.
Well, okay. Now
Staple
that you say it, I actually do. I do remember. Like, I thought it was kind of dumb when he's just like talking to the camera. Like there were like during that first episode. Yeah. I think it was the first episode when someone tries to use like a Judas bullet on him, and it doesn't do anything to him.
On the
I like that happened, by the way. I like that he's actually, like, his powers are actually, like, evolving,
Yeah, it feels like once he gets injured, like, his immune system just kind of fortifies.
Well, I think they blamed it on the fact that he had to get another treatment for his skin. So it's just like, he's just even tougher because he's had another treatment.
Is it just that, or just, like, over time, like, he becomes weaker and he's going to need to do more treatments to keep it as tough?
Oh, I don't think so. I think that Judas thing was just enough, and now he's tougher.
Just to let you know.
Yeah. But yeah, there were some moments where Luke Cage, especially towards the end of the season, and I don't want to spoil that, but you've seen the whole season 2. The very last decision that he makes when it comes down to him, like, deciding something, I felt like that was very out of character for him. And it comes from out of nowhere. He just decides, like, yeah, I'm going to go ahead and do this. And I thought he was going to go the other,
we don't know what he's going to do with it, though.
Right, we don't.
I mean,
because it ends on that big of a cliffhanger.
For all we know, it's just going to be an awesome barbershop.
Gosh.
I honestly...
But it was neat that it went there.
I like the way that it ended and that it put him in a complicated situation, because it's going to lead up to an interesting season 3 that I'm going to want to watch.
Yeah.
However,
sure.
I didn't like how they got there. Like, it kind of like, how Spider-Man 3, like, who was the villain in Spider-Man 3?
Well, you had 3 of them.
Right.
You had Sandman.
Yeah.
You had New Goblin.
Yeah.
And you had Venom.
Yeah. And which one was the main villain?
I would say Sandman.
You would say Sandman. Some would say...
New Goblin or Venom.
Yeah, so who was the main villain for Luke Cage Season 2?
Yeah, you can't really say Bushwhacker.
I don't like that. I want it, like, because I didn't feel like Bushwhacker, like, sorry. I'm so tired. I didn't think that he had like enough time. Enough development, enough time. He was a great character. And I thought that like the actor was phenomenal, did a great job.
Yes,
and I think that the story should have been fleshed out better, and it shouldn't have focused on like this really weird mommy issue where
And he does, and I don't like it when a character does terrible things, and then they make me get sympathetic for him. It's just like. Like,
what terrible things did he do? Did Bushmaster do?
He put people's heads on spikes.
Yeah, but whose heads? Innocent people?
Yeah. Some of them were innocent, like that. I mean, not 100%, but that one guy who was brokering the deal for. I don't want to say because, but you know who I'm talking about. The guy that Luke Cage was protecting.
Yeah, but at the same time, he was working for the devil.
He was, but I don't think he completely knew exactly. But the point is you have the main character protecting him, right?
Return of the Jedi, when they destroyed the Death Star that was mid-creation, like when they were working on it.
Oh, that's different.
Contractors.
That is
had
different.
Nothing to do with the Federation. Just innocent people.
They were forced into working on it.
Innocent people. And
gosh.
The bad guys are all dead. You know? But
how do we know that there were any contractors? I don't remember that being in the movie. But they were
making it.
I am just saying.
People there making it. It was in mid.
Yeah, they were all the Empire. Yeah, all of them.
Okay.
I didn't even see them.
Okay.
Yeah, out of sight, out of mind.
Because a bunch of clones that were developed for war, for killing, they were also trained to build a Death Star.
Why not?
It's true.
You can alter your genes.
This is going nowhere quick.
We're not talking about Star Wars.
Okay.
Talk about the other Disney property.
Incredibles 2.
Incredibles 2.
Alright, so, but yeah, I just didn't like the other villain. And Shades, man, and just both, they're just both.
I was very surprised when that other villain got killed.
Yeah, we won't even speak her name.
No.
Because we don't remember.
I wasn't even going to reveal the gender, but you just ruined that. But no, and who killed her? That was, I did not see that coming, and I love that I didn't see that coming.
Yeah.
But the thing, I didn't really compare it too much to season 1. In general, I liked kind of like with Jessica Jones, I liked season 2 generally better than season 1 for Luke Cage.
I loved season 1.
Season 1 was great up until they killed Cottonmouth,
and then out of nowhere, like, you know, Luke Cage's brother,
Diamondback shows up, and it's weird because he has like these comic book villain lines.
Yeah.
And it completely like breaks. I'm just like, okay.
Like, tail end.
What?
And you just didn't like, you heard his name occasionally, you know, but like they should have said, like, he could have been a great villain that could have been like, you know, entire season just based off of Diamondback. Yeah.
And then it's weird that they brought in like where was Luke Cage's dad in the first season?
And
why did he show up in the second season?
And because Luke Cage got famous on TV in the first season, and then that's how his father found out where he was living.
Yeah, but he's still in Harlem. Harlem's not that big of a place.
Yeah, well, yeah, potatoes.
I'm just saying it was weird.
Cottonmouth,
we didn't see him at all.
Was a phenomenal actor.
Yeah. He
was great. I loved watching him.
They should have kept him, made him get powers or something. You know, just do something where the problem that Luke Cage has.
We know that Marvel does not care about
the villains
sticking with comics and sticking with the storyline. They deviate all the time.
Yeah, but the thing is like, the problem that season 2 had was, okay, so they bring in Bushwhacker. And he comes in, and he beats up Luke Cage a couple of times.
Yeah.
And he does it because he's using, you know, the Nightshade, and but the thing is, it's such an Achilles heel for him, and it's revealed really quickly.
Yeah.
Like that, because, you know, the first time you see anything weird happen with him is he gets shot up, and he just like basically takes the shells of bullets off of him.
Well, I like how they were dissecting, like, oh, if you notice, like, you know, like if they don't bounce off, he actually absorbs them, and then he heals, like he's got a heal. Like, they're dissecting what his superpowers are.
It was either that episode or the very next episode where they're revealed, they're like, but he has to get more, and when he does get more, it hurts him. It's this huge double-edged sword thing, and it's just like, oh, this is probably eventually going to kill him. Yeah. So
because drugs, man, drugs.
But he has to do that to even to just knock out Luke Cage.
Yeah.
And he just wasn't that much of a threat.
That's true.
Like Luke Cage, there's not. I liked in the first season how there was something that could harm him. Like the Judas bullet could actually harm him. They didn't come up with a new way to really hurt Luke Cage.
But he did have practically a military behind him, of people that were willing to fight for him. And I think that you could have seen that spread more chaos. And he doesn't need to take down Luke Cage. He could have just stood in the way of Luke Cage and kept him occupied while everyone else was tearing down Harlem, and no one could stop because Luke Cage wasn't around. There's a lot of things that they could have done that they didn't do with it because they were just focusing on, look at how taboo and perverse this relationship is and how everyone feels awkward.
Whenever,
we're kissing,
and the thing, oh goodness,
I stole glasses as a kid.
Is it Myra or Moriah?
You're asking the wrong person. I'm so bad when it comes to any name. If the character isn't one that I really like, then I just don't remember the names.
But yeah, that was weird. They only needed one scene to establish that they're in a romantic relationship, but no, they kept harping on it.
And we were talking about this too, sex scenes lately. It's just man, they got websites for that. You don't have to.
Yeah, get that out of my drama. I didn't show up expecting 50 Shades of Grey. All right.
We wanted to see in Marvel, and it was the only sex scene that I thought was good was the sex scene between Jessica Jones and Luke Cage, just because it showed two superheroes that realized, oh, another superhero, And that was kind of interesting,
but it was pretty gratuitous. It wasn't done tastefully or anything.
You don't need to do it for multiple minutes. It could just be they go la la la, and a few seconds later, oh whoa, look at that.
Yeah, and that was a well that they kept going back to anyway.
Exactly. They needed this just a sexy saxophone.
And now I don't like it. Anytime that they see each other, it gets really awkward.
Yeah.
So that's an issue, but. I was going to say about so there's a new character in season 2 where this kid is following Luke Cage around and filming him, and he's got merchandise out about him and stuff. Who is this guy? And why is he just hanging out in the barber shop? Does he work there? Does he own the barber shop? And at the end, when he gives Luke Cage that big speech about how it's you can't stay here, you can come here and get your hair cut and that's it. I was just who is this guy to tell Luke obviously what he can do?
You're not from Harlem, are you? All right, there's the merch guy.
Who apparently is your boss?
Yeah, he's the merch guy.
Your hype man can tell you what to do. It was weird. It just came from out of nowhere, and I would have been like, who are you?
Yeah, and that's who he was, just the guy that kind of did that throughout the season.
Yeah, it was also really annoying. The whole, if I were Luke Cage, I'd be like, you people handle your own problems. You're just hey man, there's a problem. Luke Cage, you got to fix this.
Yeah, Jessica Jones, Luke Cage, season 2.
Yeah.
I
thought they were generally improvements.
You thought they were improvements. I thought that they were not.
There were. I would definitely agree with you. The parts that you said that were weaker, yeah, they were weaker.
I felt that they could have just, had better antagonists.
So, Infinity War.
I have not seen it yet.
You haven't seen it. No. I haven't talked about it on here. It is a dark movie.
Yeah.
I usually don't like dark movies, but I went into it knowing full well that it was not going to be a happy ending.
It's the first of many Thanos.
Yeah, I loved Thanos. I loved how the movie started out showing just how not necessarily evil, and normally he's not I would say he's a complicated character, but he has reasons for doing what he's doing.
But that's the thing, though, is that from what I hear, like, go ahead and explain the reasons, and I'll tell you why I don't like what I hear from other people.
You just want me to tell you why he's trying to...
Why is he murdering everybody?
So he's trying to get the Infinity Gauntlet. Well, he has the Infinity Gauntlet. He's trying to gather the Infinity Stones. Yes, stones. Yeah. Not gems, stones. And once those are inserted into the Infinity Gauntlet, he has all 6 of them. He snaps his fingers and turns into supersonic. No, I'm just kidding. He snaps his fingers and he can wipe out half of the universe.
And why does he want to do that?
He wants to do that because he thinks overpopulation.
Yeah. Okay.
He's basically saying too many hungry mouths, not enough food to go around.
Infinite universe, too many hungry mouths. Yeah, gotcha. Okay. So
he had it, but he did have an example.
What about Lady Death?
Not in it.
Not in it.
No, they completely removed that as
any kind of... you know about Thanos and his backstory, right?
Yeah, and from what I've heard, it's stupid.
I think it's interesting. Like Thanos came across Lady Death, and he just fell in love with Lady Death. Which, if people don't know who Lady Death is, it's like the incarnation of death itself. Like, you know how there's like there's like a physical representation of
like a Grim Reaper,
of like a bunch of natural forces in the universe that they have. Lady Death, she's not of this plane. She is, lives in the underworld, basically, which you can only go there if you die, or if, I don't remember how Thanos came across her, but so she wants nothing to do with Thanos. She ain't impressed. You don't impress me, and he wants to impress her because he wants to marry Lady Death. He wants her to fall in love with him. So he just goes throughout the cosmos just sacrificing people for Lady Death, in her name.
To impress her.
Yeah, to impress her. Just because he wants Lady Death to fall in love with him. He wants her. And so this explanation as to why he is doing this just, for me, doesn't work. Because I like the idea that he's just some crazy guy is I want to give to Lady Death, and the thought of Lady Death, more people dying, she's like, more paperwork? Man, what's going on out there? Because my day's a mess.
What's great about his motivation in this telling of the story is that he's the hero in his mind.
Yeah.
He's very much the like everyone else trying to stop him are the villains.
Yeah.
And you could totally get behind that. You could totally see that.
Yeah, which is basically, that's America, that's Europe right now, that's every country right now. It's so polarized that, this side thinks that they are completely right and justified, and that they hate this side and this side. So I can see where that's a popular kind of train of thought right now. So they hit the nail on the head as far as the political climate of pretty much every country right now.
Politics aside, it's great that they showed that it doesn't matter if you have great conviction. You can be totally completely convinced that you're right about something and be 100% wrong. Like, the intensity of your belief does not determine whether or not your belief is correct. Like, you could still be wrong, just very intently wrong.
Yeah.
So I love that that's presented, but I just feel like if they had tried to go about it doing it the comic book way, I don't think it would have been done very well.
That's true. I just that's how I saw it. That's how I know Thanos. So.
Sometimes
I'm just a comic book nerd that just oh, that's not it's not in the book.
Yeah. I'm okay with it, but I looking at it differently.
Still looking forward to watching everyone die, though.
Everybody dies.
I can't wait to see who's dead.
And I think the movie very much handled such a huge cast. Mm-hmm. Like, I thought, okay, I'm not going to see that much of Spider-Man. I'm not going to see that much of Thor or any of the Guardians of the Galaxy. No, like, everyone gets a good amount of time. Everybody. It's like it's almost like there was some kind of equation that they did to get everyone to have a good amount of screen time, because everyone does. Yeah. It's great. Movie's funny too, even though it's dark. It's a mixture of all of the beats of humor from the other Marvel movies, whether it's Guardians of the Galaxy or Doctor Strange or Avengers.
Nothing will beat Ragnarok as far as I'm concerned. It can't.
There's some Ragnarok humor in it though too.
It can't be funnier than Ragnarok.
It's great.
That was such a good one.
There's plenty of Guardians of the Galaxy humor in it, which is also always good.
Well, I'm looking forward to seeing it. Even though it's not my version of Thanos that I'd like to see.
Yeah, go see it.
It does sound relevant as far as a political comment.
Actually, it comes out next month. You should just come over here and watch it here.
That sounds good. I'll do that.
And also, this past weekend, I saw Ant-Man and the Wasp, which I have to say, a little disappointed in it.
I didn't even want to watch it. Like, Ant-Man was a cute movie, and I enjoyed it. But, I mean, it's like, I don't know. You've got all these A-list movies coming out. It feels B-list. It just doesn't feel like it's a big deal.
A smaller movie than Infinity War. Yeah. It's kind of like a palate cleanser. Because it is rather lighthearted.
Some movies, it's like, when it's free to stream, I can't wait to watch it.
Yeah. And I just feel like the first movie did a lot of things better. And I know some people might get mad for me saying that, but I went into it with relatively moderate expectations, and I felt like... some highlights, though. Walton Goggins plays the role of one of the villains in the movie, and I love him as an actor. He played Boyd Crowder on the show Justified. I don't know if you've ever seen Justified. He's starting to do movies now, whereas he was, I think, predominantly a TV actor before. But he's a great guy. He's got a natural Southern accent. I think he's from Alabama. But he plays a really good either sleazy guy or like kind of scary Dixie Mafia kind of person. And he's kind of more the sleazy businessman in this movie.
It's curtains for you. Sorry.
It was more of a Southern gentleman.
Dixie Mafia.
Dixie Mafia.
When you say Mafia, I just think like machine. It's like mercy.
Throw a Southern accent on it.
Swimming with the fishes.
And they totally. I love the fact that Lawrence Fishburne was in this. You know who that is?
I'm bad with names. Characters, movies.
Morpheus from The Matrix.
Okay. Yeah.
He was in it, and his role was completely wasted on, I'm just a scientist who used to do cool things, but now I just do research. Yeah. They wasted his character. Waste of a role. I love Lawrence Fishburne, and they wasted him.
He needs to be a main character. Else, like, why are you even putting him in a movie? Like, you're sitting on gold.
I feel like he got old too, really quick. He wasn't all that young in Matrix, but still.
I think that actors and actresses like spend so much time and money and effort and makeup and camera angles and lighting and everything to make them look young, to make them, look good. And then one day they just don't put on makeup.
Yeah.
And, they just don't go like, I just want to be
And they
old.
just own it.
I just want to be old. And yeah.
I do have to say one thing that it does better than the first movie is the action scenes were all done really well, especially when Wasp fights the new villain Ghost. Mm-hmm. So you basically have a character who can fly and shrink down and come back up to regular size versus a person who can phase in and out. So yeah, a lot of neat things were done with that. A lot of the humor in it is fresh and good, but I just feel like it for the first movie, there was something about the first movie that just every few minutes you were laughing, and this movie didn't have that.
Yeah, I think from the trailers and stuff, they tried to make it look like it was like, oh yeah, you remember the first movie, only this time it's serious. Like we're gonna be super actiony, and like the first movie has some good actions and stuff, but it was Ant-Man. Like you knew, it was a famous comedian that they hired. You
remember the first movie when he really got upset when that one ant he rode on got killed?
Yeah.
Like that happens to a bunch of different ants, and they almost turned it into like a comedic thing because he just can't get an ant to stay alive. Yeah. But it's just like, okay, so that was an emotional impact in the first movie. Now it's a punchline, and it's just kind of like, I liked it better when it was an emotional moment. Yeah. But so overall, not as good as the first movie.
Ant-Man and the Wasp, now less anti.